Hey, it's me, and today we're going to be doing a restoration. As you know, restorations are some of my favorite projects now. My mom has asked me to do one for her. Behind me, you will see a bathhouse. This is where we keep bathing suits and towels and whatnot for the pool. And on it is supposed to be a sun. It's one of those decorative suns that you find on walls, and they come in lots of intricate designs and they're really bright and really pretty, but this one is not currently. It's really faded, it's really cracked, and it looks like it needs some help. So that's what I'm going to be doing today, and I really hope that I can make it as bright as I'm hoping for. I want something that's going to pop, but it's also going to kind of go with other decorations out here. We've got some reds, we've got a little bit of blues, and I'm hoping to pull all of that together to create something unique and bright. So without further ado, let's get into it. So the first step was to go in with 320 grit sandpaper to get rid of some of that weathered texture we were dealing with. And thanks to my dad for doing this, because I probably would have ruined my project. The goal was to get some of the paint chips off, but mostly to try and get that texture under control. Now here we were discussing trying not to over sand it because there's a lot of beading and facial features that we just didn't want to mess up for this project. So ultimately we decided to just be as conservative about sanding as possible. Now there were some sections that were cracked and parts of it had fallen off, so I went in with Crayola air dry clay later on after we painted this to fill in those pieces and make it smooth again. Here he decided to go in with sanding by hand to keep those facial features from being buffed down too much. And then he went in with a little bit of air to keep the chips out of my paint later. And then obviously Chance had to come visit because he has to. And then we went in with just your typical run-of-the-mill white spray paint, and this was to make sure that I didn't have any trouble getting my color to be nice and vibrant. This is how you get your project started off right. Okay, I'm back. That project took me quite some time, but I am extremely proud of how it came out. A lot of the details that I was hoping to get, I got, and I'm very excited to hang it up and show you all. So I have to back up because this is a pretty large piece and it's actually kind of heavy, so I'm gonna do my best not to drop it now, but here it is. As you can see, it is quite large. It's one of the bigger things that I have restored, but it's probably one of the best things that I have restored now. On the face, we have a nice orange, and I faded it out to yellow. I wanted it to be kind of blendy here, so that was kind of my biggest thing, was this face. This had to be kind of the centerpiece. The eyes are closed, so I made sure to emphasize that these are in fact eyelids and not just colorless eyes. I actually had to mix a color to get this blendy effect because I painted this all kind of separate, which you should probably not do if you're trying to do blendy. But then I ended up getting to the yellow, and that was more of kind of the highlights. And I did that how I would kind of highlight my face. So the brightest parts are kind of the focal points of the face, and the rest of it is kind of blended out into the yellow. And I didn't want to emphasize the chin too much, so that's not. But the lips are nice and bright because I thought the lips were a very nice shape and should be emphasized. On the beading here, this is what we were concerned about losing when we were sanding it down a little bit, so we were careful. Those are a nice navy blue. I wanted something that would be a contrast to everything around it, but still have kind of a nice color to it, so I went with navy. For the sun rays, I went with red faded out to yellow and blue faded out to more of an aqua blue. I kind of wish I'd went a little lighter with the blues at the tips, but I really like that vibrant red going to that yellow. I ended up having to use a coral color to blend because they just weren't agreeing, and again I painted them in layers and didn't do it all in one because I had to do multiple coats of the red and the yellow to get a solid color. So some of the blendy lines are a little messy, but where this is hanging you won't see it so much. I tried not to worry too much about fine details, even though up close right now you can see some of the flaws. But that's okay because nothing is perfect, and I'm proud of how it came out regardless. I ended up using a clear coat that is meant for outdoor painting projects this time, in hopes that it won't fade so much or get damaged. But if you have any tips on how to protect this from the sun, I would be open to suggestions because this is one of my biggest projects and I'm kind of proud of it. But I painted it with the intention that it is going to hang up on the bathhouse, so I'm going to do that regardless. Needless to say, my parents love this, and it just makes me happy to do these projects for them because I get to exercise my creative abilities on some projects that I have seen around the house for years. This has actually been on the bathhouse since as long as I can remember, and that has probably been most, if not all, of my life. So getting the chance to take this down, paint it, and put it back up as a completely new and bright piece, it's very fulfilling for me. I'm not gonna wait any longer. I'm gonna hang this and show you what it looks like on the bathhouse. So here it is, hung up on the bathhouse. So we can kind of go up close so you can see it better. So there it is, and it looks really nice up there. It's nice and bright. And as you get further away, the blendies look even more seamless, which I really, really appreciate. So that is the finished product. So I hope you all enjoyed watching me restore this. Hopefully this holds up. Again, if you have any suggestions on how to protect this from fading and just give it a longer life with this new bright color, let me know. I'm open to suggestions. And with that, I will see you all next week.